Welcome to Democ Republics, where we cover the real news that matter to we the people. According to WorldNet Daily, no evidence of collusion. House Intel clears Trump in its Russia probe. Also, no proof campaign was involved in theft or publication of Clinton emails. There's no evidence of Trump campaign collusion, coordination, or conspiracy with the Russians, says the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, which voted to end its investigation Thursday. There's also no evidence that the Trump associates were involved in the theft or publication of Clinton campaign-related emails, the committee said in a summary of its findings that clears Trump's team of wrongdoings during the election. Committee members had interviewed 73 witnesses and reviewed more than 300,000 documents before formally voting to end the panel's probe. The committee voted to release its full 150-page report to the public after the intelligence community had a chance to review it. Publications of the final report is expected to happen in the next few weeks. The summary of the committee's findings is available for us to read. Quote, last January, we sent out to investigate the Russian active measures during the 2016 election. Today, we are one step closer to delivering answers to the questions the American people have been asking for over a year, Rep. Mike Conaway, Republican from Texas, who had led the probe since last April, told Fox News Thursday. Just a week ago, the committee revealed that they found no evidence of collusion and said there's no basis for claims from figures in the intelligence community who said Russian President Vladimir Putin had supposed preference for Trump during the election. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. We know that those 13 Russians that got indicted for basically trolling the internet, but they got indicted for trolling the internet. They try to say that they favored Trump, which is untrue because they actually spent more money. They spent more money for Hillary Clinton actually than they did on Trump. So they were actually, and they spent a bunch of money on Sanders too. So it was really more just trying to mess up our elections rather than supporting one person over another. They was just trying to sow discord, really. But back to the article. Democrats claim the Republicans had prematurely ended the committee's Russia investigation. They want the committee to interview 30 more witnesses and issue subpoenas to 15 Trump associates and companies with which the Trump campaign conducted business. It's been over a year, so why they haven't found anything yet? Why are they still pushing? Republicans is just trying to push this for the primary elections, I believe, so they got something to talk about to bash Trump on for the midterms, and they want to bring it for the keep it going for 2020. I'm sure they're going to try to figure out some way to keep this fake narrative Russian collusion going. But back to the article. The report's findings and recommendations do reveal a pattern of Russian active measures, those cyber attacks and social media campaigns to sow discord, just like I said. In the U.S., the report says Russia executed cyber attacks against U.S. political institutions in 2015, 2016, and Russians were responsible for the dissemination of documents and communications stolen from the U.S. political organizations. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. Russia doing cyber attacks, that's nothing new. Countries do this. We do the same thing on other countries, so this is nothing new, the whole cyber attack thing. And when they said the dissemination of communication stolen from U.S. political organizations, we still don't have any proof that Russia was behind the DNC hack. And actually, when the tech people actually looked at it, they said the time frame that it took for them to upload all that information, it had to be through a thumb drive. You can't transfer you can't transfer information that fast through over the internet, because at the speeds that it took after they looked at it. And how do our intelligence community know that Russia actually hacked the DNC when they didn't even look at the servers. The DNC would not let the FBI look at the server. So how do they know that it was actually hacked by Russia? We just go, the FBI just take it off of someone's word. I thought the FBI was called the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Why they didn't investigate it and look at the servers for themselves rather than take somebody's word for it? Come on now. But back to the article. Quote, this poses a serious threat to future U.S. elections, including the primary elections that are already underway, Conaway told Fox News. It's critical to release this information now to protect our country and our elections from foreign interference. How about this? How about we go back to the paper ballot? How about we go back to the paper ballot? You can't hack paper, and they've been doing it for hundreds of years. Why not go back to the paper ballot? Back to the article. The committee released a summary of its classified report, which included the following key findings concerning alleged Trump campaign links with Russia. Finding number 25. When asked directly, none of the interviewed witnesses provided evidence of collusion, coordination, or conspiracy between the Trump campaign and Russian government. So, I mean, they investigated 73 people, and they couldn't find anything to support the claim of Russian collusion colluded with Trump. Finding number 26, the committee found no evidence that President Trump pre-campaign business dealings formed the basis for collusion during the campaign. I think the only thing that Trump even had in Russia was that I think it was a Miss Universe pageant or something like that, and he wrote a letter to Putin, inviting him to the pageant. But why wouldn't he write a letter to the person that's running that country when you're having a pageant there? I mean, that's the only thing they got on him. But finding number 27, the Republican National Security Establishment opposition to candidate Trump created opportunities for two less experienced individuals with pro-Russian views to serve as campaign advisors. That was George Papadopoulos and Carter Page. And they were low level anyway. Finding number 28. The change in the Republican Party platform regarding Ukraine resulted in stronger position against Russia, not a weaker one. And there's no evidence that Paul Manafort was involved. Finding number 29, there's no evidence that Trump associates were involved in the theft or publication of Clinton campaign-related emails, although Trump associates had numerous ill-advised contacts with WikiLeaks. And Julian Assange, pretty much, he didn't really come out and say it, but he pretty much insinuated that that Seth Rich was the leaker. I mean, and it had to be an inside job. Someone at the facility had to physically stick a thumb drive into the server and take the email information from the DNC server. I mean, it's pretty much fact. Finding number 29. There's no evidence that Trump associates were involved in the theft of... Oh, yeah, I read that one. Sorry. Finding number 30. Carter Page did not travel to Moscow in July 2016 on behalf of Trump campaign, but the committee is concerned about his seemingly incomplete accounts of his activity in Moscow, which, again, Carter Page was a low level. He really didn't have any contact with Trump at all. Finding number 31, George Papadopoulos attempted to leverage his Russian contacts to facilitate meeting between the Trump campaign and Russians was unsuccessful. Finding number 32, Donald Trump Jr., Jared Kushner, and Paul Manafort attended a June 9th, 2016 meeting at Trump Tower where they expected to receive but did not ultimately obtain derogatory information on candidate Clinton from Russian sources. And I remember that the person, the lady that set up this meeting, she had something to do with she was some way in contact with the Clinton people too. I can't remember exactly what her deal was, but it was a lawyer. It was a Russian lawyer that was like the in between, and it was basically a setup. They was trying to set up They was trying to set up Trump Jr. On finding number 33, Donald Trump Jr. briefly met with the Russian government official at the 2016 National Rifle Association annual meeting, but the committee found no evidence that the two discussed the U.S. Presidential election. So you can't meet with government officials, I guess. Finding number 34, the committee found no evidence that the meeting between Trump associates, including Jeff Sessions, and official representatives of the Russian government, including Ambassador Kissick, reflect collusion, coordination, or conspiracy with the Russian government. Finding number 35, possible Russian effort to set up a back channel with Trump associates after the election suggests the absence of collusion during the campaign, since the communication associated with collusion would have rendered such a back channel unnecessary. Finding number 36, prior to conducting opposition research targeting candidate Trump's business dealings, Fusion GPS conducted research benefiting Russian interests. So yeah, we can't forget that the same people that brought us the dossier was the same people was basically lobbying on behalf of Russia. Finding number 37, the law firm Perkins Co. hired Fusion GPS on behalf of the Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee to research Trump's Russian ties. I'm not seeing anything in here where they're bringing up McCain, but McCain was the one that brought the dossier to the FBI. Don't forget that. Old corrupt McCain shaking hand with terrorist McCain over here. But finding number 38, Christopher Steele claims to have obtained his dossier information second and third hand from purported high places, Russian sources such as government officials with links to the Kremlin and intelligence community. So he supposedly got this information from Russian government officials, but according to Steele and them, they're colluding with the Russians. So why would you go to the Russians for information? Doesn't make any sense. Finding number 39, Christopher Steele's information from Russian sources was provided directly to Fusion GPS and Perkins Co. and indirectly to the Clinton campaign. I mean, this is another investigative panel that's been going at it, trying to find Russian collusion, and found absolutely no evidence. But you still got the special counsel. Why do we have the special counsel? Why are they still working right now? Why they're just trying to dig up dirt? They can't find anything, and they're still going on with this collusion. Like I said, I believe they're gonna keep pushing this and keep digging for years and years. They're gonna try to run this up to 2020 campaign, just to discredit Trump and the things that he's doing. But let me know what you think. Do you think they're gonna keep running this charade and try to the charade Russian collusion, or you think it's finally gonna come to a head? Leave your comments below. Click that like button, and please subscribe. And I'll check y'all next time. And don't forget to check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. Till next time.
We live in a really nightmare. We live in a really nightmare.